Going to say that. That was my next question. You said that they actually killed Whitney Houston, yeah?
Yeah, and Bobby Brown knows about it. He was sitting there in the crowd crying, watching.
And what about Bernie Mac? You said something about Bernie Mac?
Yeah, he was awesome. He tried to basically save me. Spoke up for me there. He said, we can't be doing this to a human being. I've seen enough of this. This is foolishness, right? And everybody's like, well, other people started to join in with them. So Elizabeth put a stop to that real quick. They cut him up for hours. Like, the constant pain on a clone, it's only really efficient if you use electricity, but they could just chop you and chop you and chop you for hours, clone by clone by clone, and they made everybody sit there and watch him getting chopped all up, as an example, right? And towards the end, he was cursing me out pretty bad. He did, he knew he was going to die because he's seen it happen to other people before, but and they don't usually do the chop up thing over and over and over to do this to people. They usually do the electricity, just put a constant electrical charge on the clone and they'll die. That's what they did to Tila Tequila to give her aneurysm, but they stopped. They could have killed her easy, just kept the electricity on, but they stopped. Like, she was looking for more money.
Okay, just to stop you there, Donald, sorry, I'm going to bring David in a minute, but just before I do, can you just tell us, for people that don't know who Tila Tequila actually is, and the story there, if you wouldn't mind?
Who is she? Let's see, washed up porn star, her drug addict, half-rate celebrity that did like a bachelorette show of some kind, and then, it didn't do anything else.
So what was her story with regards to this then? Was she trying to expose it at one point then? Is that what you're trying to say, yeah?
Well, the thing was, she was there for a long time, being used as a sex slave. Members of her family there, some woman named Bouchy, her cousin or something. And then, for being a good sex slave, they offered her the Shot at Love show. So she did that, did the Shot at Love show, and then she's like, okay, well, I don't want to come here anymore. And they're like, we'll give you another show. And, okay, I'll stay then. She does another Shot at Love. So then after that, she's like, yeah, well, I'm not getting any more shows. I don't want to come here anymore. And she was really outspoken. Like, she really liked to push the envelope and dare them to try to kill her, right? Because I guess she had some kind of a dead man disclosure, whatever they call it. If you die, someone picked up something. So they didn't want to kill her, but they wanted to shut her up, so gave her an aneurysm. Well, she went on a video blog or something. It's gone now, but she went on a video blog and said, can someone please help me? Everybody thought that she was being like a big drug addict. She goes, can someone please help me? The Illuminati are blasting me into another dimension somehow. Queen Elizabeth is there, and she eats people, and there's demons there. And they follow her command, right?
Yeah.
And that night she had an aneurysm, or was it the next night? I think it was that same night. And after that, she never said anything else.
Right. And this is brought on by the so-called electrical charges to the clone, basically, which can do that, yeah?
Yep. They just lay the clown down, attach a wire, constant electrical current, and if you're young, it takes a while. If you're old, it doesn't take that long. And they blast your brain.
Sure.
And so anyway, she came... I contacted her because I'd met her there. We'd talked about disclosing together, and all the other ones there were like looking at us like, I thought they were actually just going to kill us. They were just using us for a joke. But so she comes onto my my wall there, and she's talking to me and everything, and I'm like, you gotta tell. And she's like, yeah, well, she's hinting and beating around the bush and everything. So then one night, she went on her radio blog there. This is why she stopped talking to me and stopped talking about cloning altogether. She went on her radio blog, and it was supposed to be a pre-recorded broadcast, and it was all very controlled because they're in her face there. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Every time she falls asleep, don't you dare. So she goes on video blog, and Surprise goes live and says, hey, I got to tell you guys all about these things called the cloning centers and what they do to children there. Now, they do this and that and the other thing, and she said, she called it going on blast. That night when she went to sleep, she got a bunch of real lizards up in her face and said, "You are going to get us eradicated." Anyway, she was pretty scared. She says she's fearless, and no, everybody's scared of these things. Instinctual fear. After that, she unfriended me on Facebook. It was right after her cloning radio show. Like, I have it on my Facebook wall. She tells all about it. It was the first time any celebrity did. It was, like, unprecedented. So then she got threatened bad that night, and they said that they would bite her to death and then reanimate her after death and bite her and bite her and bite her. So she's like, "You're on your own, Donnie."